Okay. I'm going to break down text features into two groups of features because there's a whole bunch of them. And for this part, I'm talking mostly to you as the parents for knowledge for yourself, because unless you're in the school setting, you really don't hear these words too often. And so there's a good chance that most of you have not talked about these particular text features since high school at the very latest, if not back in elementary school. The first group of text features that I'm going to talk about have to do with those things in the book that aren't part of the main reading section in it. They're the table of contents, the glossary, and the index. Just so that you can get it back in your head again as an adult who, unless you're in the school system, you probably don't talk about the table of contents every day. The table of contents is the part in the front of the book that tells you what's coming up. It's organized according to the order that it shows up in the book, like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. The glossary usually shows up in the back. It's that part that's like the little dictionary in the back of the book that tells you what the words mean. And usually, if there's a glossary, then the words that are inside the text that are in the bold print are the words that are in the glossary in the back. Not always, but that's a good clue. And then the index is the part at the back of the book. The index is organized according to alphabetical order. So if it's a book about animals and you want to look up what page was the cheetahs on, you look alphabetically for the word cheetahs, and then it tells you all the pages that the information about cheetahs were on. That's different than the table of contents in the front. In the front, it's organized according to how it shows up in the book. In the back, it's organized according to alphabetical order by topic. Very similar, but different functions. Those are the three outside of the text features that we expect children starting in the end of second grade to be able to identify and use. So they have to be able to answer questions like, what do you use a glossary for? Where would you look to find information about a cheetah? Would you look in the glossary? Would you look in the table of contents? Would you look in the index? Or if they're looking at a page from an index, we expect them to be able to answer questions like, what page would you look on to find information about the cheetah? Conversely, if they're looking at the table of contents in the front, where it's got all of the chapter headings listed, the question might be, which chapter would you expect to find information about cheetahs? And they would have to choose between animals in trees, animals in the water, animals in the grassland, and animals in the desert. They would have to be able to identify which area, based on those big descriptors, they would most likely find information about cheetahs. I'm explaining this to you because, like I say, most people don't talk about indexes and tables of contents after they get out of school themselves, unless you happen to be a teacher. And so it's like anything else, whenever you haven't used that knowledge in a long time, sometimes it gets a little rusty. So I wanted to be sure that you were clear on what those features were so that you can talk with your child about them, because they are expected to be able to answer those questions. And with the words, what is a table of contents for?